Dispatchers help callers on the worst days of their lives. For over 25 years, we've been there. A silent partner in millions of calls thanks to our redundant and diverse networks that ensure call delivery. Today, cities are bigger, traffic more congested, and the challenge is more complex. But you're never alone, because InDigital is quietly improving, implementing, and driving the next generation of 911, so you're supported in every situation. Make the switch at indigital.net.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Hello, and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Open Mic Live. It is August 17th, 2025, and we are currently live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, and TikTok. Oh, man. How's everyone doing? Let's just go ahead and start it off with everyone's numbers. How are you doing? Because that's what we do on Open Mic. We check in with each other as well to see how everything is going. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, how are you doing? I'll wait to see what your numbers are. I would say that I'm coming in at already like an 8.5, 9. It has been a pretty good week. A lot of stuff has been going on, as always. Kristen at a 7. Oh, yeah. Let's see. An 8. Thankful for today was my day off. Awesome as well. Jamie doing well. Probably like a 5 to be real, but that's good enough for me. You know, that's good. That is good. Coming in at a 5. That's all. Yeah, that's all good. Rebecca at a 3. We'll see if we can get your number up a little bit. But even if it stays the same, that's good too. That is good too. So I will try to keep you all entertained this evening. Let's see. Jeff over here. What's up, yo? Coming in at a 7. All right. Excellent. All right. These are some good numbers. This is good stuff. Again, I'm happy to be here with all of you. Casey, what's up, yo? At a 7. Wild week and same. Lots of stuff. Big win last week. We need to set up some time so that we can either do a part 2 or just simply catch up with all the things that are going on over there on the West Coast, because I want to hear all of it. And says, hopefully another win coming on Tuesday. All right, that is excellent. I am all about it. I look forward to hearing more. Seriously, we need to set up a call or something. And this live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next-gen core services. Shout out to subscribers as always, and everyone who joins in. Casey says, I am ready for part 2. Hell yes, so am I. Let's get that scheduled, and we'll figure that out. A lot of stuff, as I've said, that's been going on, and as always, you know, like even tomorrow starts another chapter. Just, you know, in general, with things going on, and I'm very excited. A lot of stuff that'll be coming out soon, so look out for that. And I am fresh back from the Mississippi Conference. Oh, yeah. It was so much fun. It was excellent. And I do want to mention, however, that episode 615, episode 615 went out just a few days ago. And usually I put it out about a week early for subscribers of the podcast. For those who subscribe on Facebook and Patreon, because they get an ad-free episode, and usually get it a week ahead of time. But when I'm traveling, I can't always do that. So I appreciate everyone and your patience and everything, because the episode went out just a few days ago to everyone all at the same time. But episode 616 will go out to patrons first. Excuse me. And then it'll go out to the public, to everyone else. So, but episode 615 with Chief Monishagan out of NWECC out of Fort Worth in Texas. Great episode. If you've not checked it out, please make sure to do so. It was awesome. It was really good to be there. I've got a few more episodes coming up as well, and those are going to be great too. I mean, I just had so much fun out there at NWECC, and of course, the following day, I ended up going to teach at Tarrant County, and again in Texas, and it was so much fun out there with everyone, and just a lot of powerful stories, a lot of good things. Over here on through Facebook, Marianne says, really enjoyed watching you at the 911 conference. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had so much fun with all of you there. It was really good. I can't say enough about that conference. It was the first time that I was out out in Mississippi. I think I've driven through there, but like a corner of the state. But otherwise, that was the first time actually there in the state while I was, working and doing things, speaking and teaching and such. And it was an excellent time. And I look forward to coming back. I really, really want to come back again. It was so much fun. We'll get into more of that stuff here coming up. But episode 616 is going to be coming up. And that episode will be going out tomorrow, probably morning, to patrons of the podcast. And that is with Sydney, and she's a 911 professional out of NWECC. So look out for that. Again, that is going to be coming out. I've got clips that are coming up for that one as well. So many different things that I'm working on that are going out there, things that we'll be talking about this evening as well. But I wanted to mention that episode 615 went out, 616 is coming up, and you can look for all of that. Also, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to join the trenches. We've had a ton of people join recently, and I can't put it on here on TikTok. However, for those on TikTok, if you are on my profile, there's a link for the website, and or just like my bio page, it's links with 2 i's.co/IAM911. And once you go there, there's a link. Just scroll down. There will be a link for you to be able to join the trenches, and it will be free. Scroll down, join. The reason I say this as well is because I am doing the public safety showcase once again, and I'm going to be doing that every other month. And I already got a bunch of speakers that are that I'm adding and have added and will be pulling up and everything. So you've got a lot of stuff to look forward to, man. A lot of good things. Marianne says as well, I wish I would have bought one of your IM911 pins or shirts. So the shirts are now on the website. So for anyone out of Mississippi, I had for the keynote, I wore one of my Thin Gold Line Edition I Am 911 shirts, but it had the state shape of Mississippi. For those in Pennsylvania, because I've got a lot, I've had a lot of requests for that one for Pennsylvania. So I've got Pennsylvania on deck. That one's going to be coming out next. I usually do one of these shirts when I have gone to the conference at that state, unless there is demand for it. Then I end up doing it earlier. So, like for Pennsylvania, there's been a demand, so I'm going to do Pennsylvania's next, and hopefully I get to go out there and speak sometime. But either way, what I want to do, hopefully, like my bucket list is to be able to go to every single state's conference and either do the podcast, do a keynote, do a session, I don't know, something like that. It would be awesome. Casey says, "Oh man, I missed your keynote. I am sure it was great. It was a lot of fun, and thank you. It was really great." I'm hoping that one day that I would be able to be a keynote at CalNina. That would be awesome. Then you would be able to see it there at CalNina. That would be really cool to be able to do that. I've been to the CalNina conference a few times, and it is always a great time. And I did I think it was about a 3-hour kind of a teaching session a few years back. But to be able to do the keynote at CalNina, that would be super cool, because it's part of my story and everything else. And well, Casey says, "Oh, hey, hook me up. That would be awesome." I would be all about it. Homie John over here. Good evening, my friend. Hello. And yeah, hell yeah. I would love to. Let's see what we can do. Marianne says, "I told my husband when I got home, you really did a good session. Everything you said hit right on the spot." Yay! Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that. That means a lot. It really does. I swear. It means so much, and I'm humbled by that. Thank you so much. It's I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest, because I have said this out loud, and I think maybe I've said this live before too, but I've told people that when I'm getting ready to speak, especially if it's a keynote or closing, I get nervous as hell, like super nervous. And people will say, "You've been doing this stuff for like over a decade. How can you get nervous?" Because I do. Because I want to do a good job, man. Like I like I want to make sure that I provide an experience. I don't want people to just go in there, and because I could easily speak like just off a screen, but that's boring shit. Like, I don't want to do that. No. Like, I want to leave the audience with an experience. I want to leave them talking. I want them to feel something. And so that's what I love to do. So I think that's why I get nervous sometimes too. But I think it also keeps me humble. At least that's how I feel. It keeps me humble, because I know other people that they do their thing, and you can tell, when they're just doing it to do it, and or they come off sleazy salesman style or something, or just whatever, they're just there collecting their money, and that's not, I don't want to portray that. I don't want to ever come off like that. I want people to have an experience. I want to make people laugh. I want there to be a roller coaster of emotions. That is what it's all about. To be authentic, to be real, And if I happen to get emotional, that it's okay, because that allows others to Jasmine, what up, yo? That allows others to also feel that it's okay to break, that it's okay to have emotions. It's okay, damn it. So thank you very much for saying that. Marianne also says you were super sweet and kept people's attention. Yes, thank you. That's also what I want to make sure to do is to be able to keep people's attention. But yeah, I had a ton of fun. I will say right off the bat, as we're going into this, um, well, let me start from the beginning here, because I've got a couple things, and then we'll come right back to it. Don't let me forget this track. Uh, Casey says, "Yes, be authentic. That's why people come to you. Keep doing what you do." Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. Casey says, "I'm not crying. Are you crying? I'm not crying." See, that happens though, because I will get emotional, or if I see someone with whatever I'm saying. So, for example, and this has happened a few times, but more like recently, when I was in Mexico, when I was the keynote at Mexico's NINA conference, I was up there, stand by. I was up there sharing the story about my grandmother. And there was a group of dispatchers that were sitting up front. And as I'm telling the story, they're crying, like visibly, like tears rolling. And I made eye contact with them, and I started kind of flowing a little bit as well. Like I'm wiping my eyes and stuff, and I'm like, I gotta look over here. I gotta look a different direction. Because if any of you are like me in a way, if I see someone else getting emotional, I most of the time I get emotional with them as well. And I that's what happened. So yeah, I know what you're saying, Casey, because yeah, especially that time when I was sharing that story, I was emotional already as it was, and it never gets easier to share the story, but I share it because I want people to know that it's okay, and that it's okay to break, and that we have people around us that do care and support us. We might not know right away, maybe until a later time or whichever, but that's why it's important for us to communicate with each other. Marianne over here says, my partner does that if she sees someone crying. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I am definitely the same way. I want to look back over here on TikTok. My homie Jonathan over here says, just posted a TikTok with our clip last year. Hopefully it'll get some views. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, brother. And also, I can't believe it's already a year since we did that episode. Holy moly. That's craziness. But yes, also, Casey over here says, stories is how we connect. Yes, I think that's one of the best things about Imagine Listening, is that people afterwards, I will leave the room. Okay, I'll leave the room and I will see people that were in the session, and they're talking with each other and sharing other stories with each other. That right there is one of the best things. It's one of the things that I love to see and hear, because I know that they had a moment, like they had an experience, and maybe some of those folks didn't share at that time, but they were able to share with their friends later. And that's what that's all about as well, because it gets people talking. And also, there are times when, people will be in that session and they don't even know each other, and someone breaks, and the person sitting next to them says something to the effect of, it's okay, don't worry, or take your time, or we're here with you. That too, man, it's amazing. It's always hard to describe what it is like in that room during that hour, especially the first part, when people are sharing some of those calls that were harder calls that they've had buried for so long. Or not so much that, maybe also they shared a save, which is just as powerful. And then, of course, we get to the funny part. So I left early, let's see, Monday morning, last week Monday. Just this past Monday, I left early in the morning from Detroit to fly into, Marianne says, we have to be able to lend a shoulder to cry with them. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. Because people are afraid, man. Some people are afraid to cry or be emotional or let that out because of fear of the people that are around them. Because of that fear that those folks might end up saying, I don't think so-and-so can handle it anymore. But if we have, open communication with each other, or just try to at least, can let others know that it is okay, and that you're in a safe spot, and that you're not going to be judged. And I know it's not like that everywhere, okay? I'm not stupid. It's not just rose-colored everywhere. Like, I get it. I know it's not like that everywhere. Some places, it sucks. But if we can just normalize certain things, we can make it a better place for everyone. I mean, this job is hard enough as it is. Why be an asshole? Don't be a dick. Casey over here says, normalize the heart of this job. We're right on the same, we're in the same wavelength. Normalize feelings. Yes, it's okay. It is okay. Casey says, no more suck it up and move on. Yeah, exactly. For real. So I ended up, oh wait, over here. Diana, what's going on? She says, LOL, it's just some people's nature. They can't help being a dick. No. I get it. No, you're right. I get it. There are, yes. But a lot of times, there are some of those folks that are like that they're the ones who have the most that they need to get out. And they don't know how to sometimes. I'm not saying everyone, but there are some folks. And that's just the mechanism that they use. I think if we just continue to talk to each other, we can make things better. Over here on TikTok, let's see. I will retire in February. However, I have stressed the need to reach out through the years. It took a toll in the beginning because of the stigma. Yeah, exactly. Right there. And there's a lot of people that have retired out that want to reach out, but feel like they can't because they're no longer in 911. And I know folks that are trying to work on that to somehow keep those in a way that have retired out, if they want to, of course, not that they have to, but if they want to still be able to be involved in some way, whether it be, volunteering on a conference or being like on a committee or something, because the reason some of these folks are saying this as well is because all of that knowledge and experience ends up going out as well. Well, some of those folks, when they leave and they feel just left out, even though they've retired out, right? There's still a way to help these folks feel as they're still part of 911. And don't get me wrong, I know there are some folks that once they're ready to leave, they're ready to leave and they don't want anything else, like they're done. And that's okay too. And I think we also need to normalize some of those folks that when they are ready to go, then just let them go. Don't make people feel bad for it. It's okay. But also, as we're talking about normalizing shit, also normalize the fact that it's okay for you to be happy and proud of what you do. During my keynote, I know I said I was going to start another part, but now I'm already going into this. But during my keynote, I was telling people that if you need permission to be happy about a promotion or doing better for yourself, whether it be within the profession or outside of the profession, then here's your permission to go ahead and do so. It's okay. The reason I say that too is because I was teaching a class once and I had asked this person if there was anything that they were proud of or that has been rewarding in the profession. And the person goes, look, I did this for money. I needed to put food on the table. I needed to pay bills. And I said, that's good. No, that's okay. That is good. Happy about that as well. But there's not one thing that you're proud of. And the person goes, again, this is what I needed to do. So here's the thing, and this is the reason that I bring this up, is because, yeah, no, we don't need to thank you all the time, right? A thank you every now and then is appreciated. Feeling recognized is appreciated. Well, this person that I was talking to, there were two other people sitting to this person's right. And they end up saying, hold up. You trained both of us. And you did a great job. You were amazing at it. And then the other person goes, also, by the way, this person got Trainer of the Year. And I look back at the person and I just kind of like tilted my head and I said, well, that's something to be proud of. And the person, like, you could see the smile kind of cracking a little bit. And they're just like, okay, well, yeah. It was like, you know, that person needed permission to be happy about the fact that they got Trainer of the Year or that they've done good stuff. And I think that we definitely need to be proud of what it is that we do. Because, yeah, there's a lot of hell in 911. There's a lot of chaos. Yeah, for sure. But there's also a lot of rewarding moments, too. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I was saying in the keynote as well. Over here, Diana says, I left dispatch because of the negativity. It got hard to be the cheerleader for people that didn't care or, you know, no support or anything like that. And I get that as well. I know a lot of people who have split in the sense because they were in a toxic environment and just people didn't care. And that sucks. But a lot of times, you know, people, they either leave the profession fully or they end up moving to a different center where the culture is different. I mean, it's funny that years ago, we never really talked about culture. And maybe we did. It just wasn't simply labeled as culture within the profession. But things have changed and been changing a lot. Casey says, absolutely, you are not just anything. Imagine you are the center point of everything public safety. Nothing happens without our dispatchers. They are the heart in so many ways. Yes, right there. Yes, exactly. So I end up arriving Wing Mom over here says, amen, preach. Yeah, hell yes, all of us, man. These are good things. Like, these are things that we need to continue to talk about. And because it matters. Marianne over here says, everything starts with dispatch in the entire department, but we are usually the last to be told thank you or good job. Yeah, exactly. You're correct. We are usually the last ones. And when it happens, though, and I said this in the keynote as well, is that a lot of times when it does happen, Casey's just like, take us to church, Ricardo. Oh, that's hilarious. I love it. But it's true. I mean, I told people, you know, we're a humble people, okay? And a lot of times when you do get that thank you, what is it that you say? On all these platforms that I'm on right now, I'm sure you know exactly what it is. Oh, thanks. I was just doing my job. I've said it myself too. When I was back in dispatch, I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. You know, I was just doing my job, you know, I was just doing what I do." But you know what else? On the inside, in the back of my head, I was patting myself on the back. I was like, "Oh, I did a good job." And that's what it was. I was all mousy about it. I was like, "Oh, thanks. Shucks. Kick rocks." And I was proud of it. And those things that happened. But a lot of times I was proud in silence. Or I would, you know, drive home and I would just be like, yes. But I could have showed more. And maybe me showing more would have allowed others around me to show more too. And eventually, you know, it did happen. Because that was more so in the beginning. But it's like towards the end, we were high-fiving and doing a lot of things. Because we were recognizing each other. Which is a good thing as well. At the same time, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, because I know all of you can relate. And every so often, I will send out a message to some of my old coworkers, and I'll tell them, just thank you for being awesome. And everything that you did when we worked as a team. Because we went through and heard some shit that no one will ever know about. That no one will ever understand. Yeah, they can listen to whatever traffic was recorded, but they don't know what it was like in that room. Just us. So thank you. And they'll send messages back too, and you know, we'll talk for a little bit on you know, whatever. But we recognize that, and we recognize each other. Even all these years later, with certain incidents, we reflect. Reflection is good. Reflection is a good thing. So I end up flying into New Orleans. Okay. I flew into New Orleans, and it was about an hour 40 drive from New Orleans to Mississippi. Well, here's the thing though. When I was leaving Detroit, you know, when you fly and you check in, they always ask immediately, so where are you off to today? And I said, I'm flying into New Orleans and then driving to Mississippi for a conference. And the gentleman goes, oh, Mississippi, huh? Where in Mississippi are you going? And I said, I'm going to be in Biloxi for the week. And he goes, oh, son, you are going to have a good time. Weather will probably be great. Skies, water, the food, casinos, they got gambling. And I said, well, sir, you have sold me. You sold me on the food. and everything else. So I was excited to go, and I end up landing in New Orleans. I've got all my stuff, and I had to cross the first road that was coming up so that I could get to the rental shuttles. And wait, Casey says you can't capture the in the moment action. It should always be considered on the review as well. Yes, for sure. So I go to cross over, and then I realize, oh, there's a huge ass line to get to the shuttles. So I'm at the end, and we're slightly in the road because there's nowhere else to move. And people are honking like crazy. And we weren't blocking anything. They were just honking like, get the hell out of the way. And we're like, we can't go any further. Like we're there. Like this is the road, and we're like right on the edge. Like they weren't going to be that close. They weren't going to hit us or anything like that. But I was about 100 people deep. That's how many people were waiting in line to get onto the shuttle. Wait, Casey says, did you have a beignet? I didn't. I did not have time to have a beignet. I know. Sad day. I wanted to, though. But I didn't have time. I've been to New Orleans before. I've had the beignets, and they are to die for. The food there, oh my Lord. So I get my car, I take off, and I don't have the video here to show, but as some of you know, I have the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, and there was a point. There was 2 videos that I took and a couple pictures, because all I have to do is press my glasses to do it. And or just I can speak to the glasses and it'll do it. So I took a picture and a little bit of video on this big ass bridge that I was going on, because at one point when you are going up, it looks like you're driving into the sky. No shit. It looks like you're driving into the sky. So I had to take some pics. I had to take a little video, but it was crazy. Wesley, what is going on? Working in 911 right now. I hope you are having an excellent shift. And then there's another point where it's highway and only water on either side. Now, there is something similar in Tennessee. Not as much water as what was around me where I was at, though, because it's only like a couple miles worth. This was way more. And for whatever reason, I was imagining while I was driving, and I took video of this, just like looking back and forth as I'm, watching for the cars or whatever, but I wanted to capture the water on either side. Wesley says, enjoyed meeting you at the 911 conference in Biloxi. You as well, man. I had so much fun in Biloxi. I'm looking on either side and just all water. Nothing else. It's just water. And for whatever reason, in my mind, all I could think was, well, if the Loch Ness Monster showed up or Godzilla showed up, I'd be screwed. I was like, I would be screwed. There would be no escape. There would be no way to get out of there unless my car was like the DeLorean and I could fly. There would be nothing else. It's so stupid. I'm just thinking of the most gnarly shit as I'm going over that. Not like a hurricane, not like a tsunami or anything like that. Fucking Godzilla. Oh no. They say he's got to go. for Godzilla. Woo! Let's see. Wesley says, I couldn't find the link to order a shirt. So on the screen, in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a link right there. So it's links with 2 i's.co/IAM911. And when you go there, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's a link there for the store, and you'll find the t-shirt there. It's already up and on there. You'll be able to find it there. Oh, it's my girl, Kelly Flynn. What is going on? Hey, my homie. Same thing to you. How are you? Let me see. Casey says, what? Bigfoot, man? That's the real threat. Or aliens. Exactly. Casey says, that's what we think. Worst case scenario. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about like natural disasters. I was thinking about what if Godzilla ends up showing up and smashes the water or something crazy like that. I wasn't even thinking about aliens. That could have been something too. No, you're right. Well, I finally get to Biloxi. It wasn't a bad drive. It was actually really easy, and the scenery was awesome. Oh wait, John over here says Final Destination type of bridge. Yes, dude, for real. Yes, exactly, for sure. I get over there and I'm already seeing signs for just like all kinds of Creole Cajun food and all types of stuff. And I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to eat. And so I end up setting all the stuff up that I need to set up. I get registered, get my badge and everything. And I was hanging out with some friends from Rapid SOS. As you know, we've got the partnership with the podcast and Rapid SOS and stuff. So I was hanging out with some of them and met a bunch of people that were going to be there at the conference, as well as those with the conference committee. So it was really, really cool. Oh wait, Wing Mom over here, 7 Mile Bridge in Key West, Florida too. Yeah, dude. Yes, that one as well. That is, I haven't driven over it. I have simply seen it, like in pictures. I mean, I think I've seen some videos too, but yeah, that one is kind of freaky as well. So get everything set up, and then it's the next day. So Tuesday is when everything like basically officially started. I went to the opening ceremony, which was good. It was cool. And then Halcyon Frank ended up going up for her keynote. She did a keynote called Be an Encourager. And it was really good. I made sure to tell her as well. She did an excellent job. And what was hilarious too, like she had a lot of good jokes in there, but was something that made me laugh too was the fact that she was on stage. Now the stage was high. It was a high stage, and like the night before, I went up there to see what the like audio and video and everything would be, the connectors. And when I got up there, like I was looking down, I was like, holy moly. I was like, that's pretty high, man. So the next day she was up there and she goes, so I am not going to be the next Michelle, which is from like Destiny's Child. And there's like a GIF that she has on the screen where Michelle falls. And so Halcyon is coming down the stairs and she's like, I'm going to be down here because I'm not going to be that person, which cracked me up. But she did a very good job. And if you guys have not checked her out, make sure to do so on Facebook and in her company as well. She's a consultant, and she also has her training called Under the Headset with Halcyon. So you can find her all over social media and stuff. You know, we had a good chat and everything as well. It had been some time since we had a chance to talk, but it was good to reconnect and everything. So it was awesome. Let me see here. Casey says, hashtag dispatcher, need to find the good food. Glad to know you're still a dispatcher at heart. Hell yeah, dude. Yes, I am all about the foods. And let's see, Marianne says, at least it wasn't a convenience store burrito. Yes, you are correct. Which, for those who are watching and listening, if you don't know my burrito story, that's what that is all about. Casey says, come see Stanislaus Regional 911 calorie table. We got you. All are welcome. Dude, I am so there. I would love to go. Oh, it's my brosif Joe Serio. What's up, brother? He says, no more burritos. Look, I dig me a good burrito, okay? I dig me a good burrito. However, I know better than to get the Red Bomb gas station burrito and mix it with an energy drink. Because then the name of that burrito ends up becoming your fate. Potentially. It could happen. It happened to me. But I'll leave it at that. Because if you're one of those folks that has like an iron stomach, then you're good to go. You can do whatever you want. But not me. I can't do that anymore. Let's see. Casey says, we took a good assault with a burrito call. What? For real? Oh, no. That... I remember taking a call from a couple of guys. They lived together. It was basically like grumpier old men. And they used to argue over who was eating the most cereal or who had the remote. And I mean, when you get calls like that, anything can happen. So it's an in progress domestic, man. It was verbal only. But when you have one of the people saying, like, I'm just going to throw the remote at them or something like that, I'm like, no. So everyone is going lights and sirens, and they get there, and nothing happens. Nothing is physically done. Nobody ends up leaving other than the officers leaving because the two dudes are like, no, we're fine. And then we have to go out there again. But again, it's 911 and anything could happen. Anything could happen. So you got to take this stuff seriously, even though it's like, again, like you guys are fighting over the cereal again. Well, a spoon could end up in an eyeball or in an ear. I don't know. I'm just saying anything could happen. You never know, man. You just never know. Let me see. Marianne over here says, I really enjoy watching and listening to you, but 3 a.m. comes early. Well, I've got like 12 minutes left. So thank you, Marianne, for being here. It was so much fun. And 3 a.m. does come fast. So crash out, have a good rest, and I hope that you have an excellent shift tomorrow. And thank you for being on here as well. Tiffany says, it's the sugar-free that got you. Well known to cause intestinal issues. Yes. No. You're right. Because, wait a minute. Over here, John says, one of those could turn into a serial killing. Cereal as in, like, what you eat. As in, like, Fruit Loops. Like, that's what he meant. Yeah. That's funny. Let's see. Casey says, don't make me tell you about the angry squirrel. The angry squirrel. Maybe you should type that in there and I can read it. But Tiffany, yes, no, you are correct, because also you may or may not know, but on I think it's on Amazon, there are some reviews for the, what is it, Harbor? I can't even pronounce it. Harborough. The gummy bears, the sugar-free ones, apparently, yes, golden line 09 over here on TikTok says gummy bears. Yes, those gummy bears, the sugar-free ones, allegedly, I have to say allegedly, but once you read the reviews, dude, it's not exactly allegedly. But there are some of the most hilarious things. If you have not read them yet, go Go read them. Those reviews are crazy because it's straight up colon blow. Yeah, it makes some of those make my burrito story like nothing. Joe says those are must read. Yes, they're crazy. But and this is the stupid in me that I kind of want to try it. See, how stupid is that? It's I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying I'm not going to do it. Casey, you're cracking me up. Oh man, I'm crying. Oh, I guess I would say that like the thought of it is almost like when someone's like, don't touch that button or whatever, and you're just kind of staring at it, like, what's going to happen though? Like, there's a curiosity killed the cat, right? So it's like, what if I got like a few director friends of mine, a few dispatch friends of mine, a few speaker friends of mine, and we got on camera and we tried them? I don't think I could do it though. And I wouldn't want to subject anybody to that either. But because it would be hilarious. Tiffany says curiosity killed the colon. Oh shit. Oh man. It's hot in this room. Like, I have a little fan that is coming up here, but it's not enough. Like, I'm laughing so much right now that I'm like sweating. This is so fun, man. That's why I love doing this with all of you guys. This is hilarious. And yes, Casey, I love open mic as well. This is funny shit. Literally. Oh my god. So I don't even know where I was. Oh, y'all broke me. Holy moly, man. Oh. So going back, as I said, Halcyon did an amazing job, and it was cool to talk with her and stuff in the vendor hall and everything, and see her at the conference. And I look forward to seeing you at future conferences and just talking and hanging out again. Tiffany says, but she goes, love a good poop pun. Casey says, but why do we always end up here? We do. It does. It always ends up where we're talking about patties. It always happens. Tiffany says, yes, I was at the MS conference. Both of you were my faves. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had so much fun with you guys. So the next morning, it was my turn. The next morning it was my turn, and I had my Mississippi shirt on and everything, and I was excited. I was nervous. And John over here on TikTok says it always turns to shit. Yes. Oh man. I was listening to Can You Feel It? by the Jacksons. If you've not heard the song, check it out. You'll know why it hypes me up. Usually in the past, it was Lose Yourself by Eminem. And then for whatever reason, that other song popped in my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to this to get hyped up for the session. And yes, because immediately when the song starts, it's, can you feel it? Dun dun. Can you feel it? Dun dun. Can you feel it? Dun 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 dun. And it just immediately kicks in. And so I had it on. I was listening, and I'm just like, doom 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 doom. And then I get in there. My buddy Jameson, who works for Rapid SOS, he had a 20-minute speech that he was doing in the beginning, and he shared some stories as well, and then introduced me. Yes. Yeah, no, she's like, can you feel it? Really, Ricardo? Oh, man. Yeah. That song just it really is all about hyping it up. And so I'm just getting down while, in my head, just getting in there. And then it's my time to do my thing. I get myself situated. I come down onto the floor because, again, I didn't want to be like, I was on the stage for a couple times because there was a couple of videos that didn't start just with the clicker. So I had to go up there to actually hit play. But and I stood there for a couple of them, but there wasn't a lot of space, and I like to move around, and sometimes I'll walk through the crowd. So being that high up, though, I could imagine my equilibrium just like just deciding to take a shit on me, and I didn't want to fall off. So, oh wait, John says, bet it was nothing like, or it was not anything like Raphael introduction. No, you're right, because Raphael's introduction was straight up WWE style. Like, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is, and it was so good. Yeah, he did a really good job. Jameson did an excellent job as well, and I loved it. But we went through, and I shared my story, and it went through it, and I was telling people, some of the things that I had mentioned already earlier, and just basically telling them that one voice can change the world. One voice can make a difference. And as we're going through the whole thing, as I'm telling them my story, I'm also telling them that I want them to think about their story at the same time. What they went through in the beginning, what it was like. Some of the calls that they took, like, there are questions that I have that I want people to write down, to answer. There's not anything that they have to share, It's just to get people to think about it, to reflect on their experience. Because it is how we talk about what it is that we do that leaves that perception of what it is that we do in 911, in this profession, not the industry, the profession of what we do. And the way you talk about what you do can inspire others from your voice and your story to also join the Thin Gold Line. There's so many people that I have received emails from who have said, just listening to the podcast alone, their stories, and these are people who had nothing to do with 911, but listening to the stories inspired them to also join the Thin Gold Line. And I tell them, this, I'm talking about all of you, your voice. That's how powerful you are. Your story. That's how powerful you are. You might not think it at the time, but it's all you. And then when you combine all of us together, damn, you can't break us. We're the front line for a reason. So it was so much fun. And then we took a 15-minute break. And then we came back for Imagine Listening. And I had asked everyone in the beginning, how many of you have ever been in an Imagine Listening session before? And I think maybe there were one or two, maybe three people, and the rest, nothing. And I said, all right, well, you're in for some shit. And everyone's like they laughed, but it was kind of like a nervous laugh, like, oh man, what are we in for? What are we doing? And then, of course, during the keynote, I kind of talk about the evolution of the movement and everything, Imagine Listening and what it's about. So there is a preview that they get for what they're going to be getting into. And then we went into it. And it was so powerful. And it was just, it's hard to explain. But if you were there, that shit was powerful. And I don't think people were expecting what we were going to end up doing. Because I mentioned it's a peer support session. Like, people are going to be sharing stories. And when people came to the booth on Tuesday, I had told them, there was a couple people that they said, we're really looking forward to your keynote tomorrow and also your session afterwards. And I said, well, you might want to bring some tissues. And they go, oh no, wait, what? And I said, you might need to bring some tissues. And I said, I don't tell people this in the beginning. And some people have said, even after the session, why didn't you tell us that we were going to need tissues? And I always tell those people, well, if you knew that you were going to need tissues, would you have come to my class? And sometimes people will go, I don't know, maybe not. and but then they also say, but I'm glad that I went, because I would have missed out on that powerful session. And no, not everyone shares stories. But that's okay, because they're there in support of each other. And that is just as important. It's important as well. And that's why I love doing what I do. Because people start talking and they start sharing. And a lot of people also realize that they are not alone. That we really are in this together. And that there are folks who care. Julie, hey, one of my homies. What's up, Julie? Julie says, I bawled like a baby my first class with you, and every class after. Their stories matter. Yes. Yes, exactly. Very much so. And there were so many people who wanted to share, and there were so many people who shared written stories as well. And a lot of folks who said, this story is very personal, and I couldn't say it out loud. And I said, don't worry. First off, thank you for having the courage to share, for what you do in our profession, and I will make sure that your story is on that episode when it goes out. So, again, powerful moment, man. And then, of course, we have open mic. So I know we're going over the hour right now, but that's okay, because I want to share some of these things with you. I've got 2 calls that I want to share from that open mic session. And then the rest, of course, I'll shave. I'll save for the episode. So let me switch the audio here to bring it out. For those over here on TikTok, I'm going to put my headphones here so that you can hear it. All right. So for those like Casey, Julie, let me know if you can hear this. It's because it's going to be a little low, but hopefully it comes over. So let me switch this so that you can hear it. One moment.
So I have a funny story from my old agency I used to work at. My former boss is in here, so I'm sorry about this. I used to work the night shift, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and y'all know we get kids calling. So this number keeps calling, hanging up, and about the 5th or 6th time I pick it up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sending officers to tell your parents you're playing on the phone. She's like, well, I'm 86 years old. I'm so sorry, ma'am. She had no emergency. She didn't know what she was doing and why she was calling at 3 a.m. But
So there's the first one. If you could hear that. This person was calling and dispatch was like, I'm gonna send an officer over there to let your parents know that you're playing on the phone. And it was a lady in her mid-80s. Whoops. Oh man. I can't say that I've had one of those like that where you know, I was talking to someone and I thought it was a kid and I was like, you need to stop playing on the phone, and it turns out they're a straight up adult. Cuz then you're sitting there just okay, is there anything I can help you with? Like and Julie says, that's almost as bad as saying, okay, sir, and it's a lady. Yes. Yeah, no, exactly. I've done that one as well. I have also done that one as well. Casey says, hey, listen, let's help her. You looking for 411? What's going on? Yes, yeah, that's that is something. Jordo, what's up, man? Says, been there. Yeah, that is a good way to quickly get out of it. Because there's those moments where you kind of put your foot in your mouth and you're like, oh shit, what do I do? That could, yes, Casey, that could easily be a way to get out of it, is to just be like, okay, well, you know, how can I help you then? Can, you know, 411, anything like that? I would do the same thing. So here's the second and the last piece of audio that I'm going to share with you. I'm already laughing. Obviously, I know what it's going to be. And for those who were there in the session, you will remember this. But here we go.
This call, thank God, because I would have lost my shit. But we had a call one night when the dispatcher answered the phone. You could hear the man in the background. He was in pretty bad pain. She was whimpering pretty good herself. And what had happened in the heat of the moment, when they reached into the nightstand, they got the KY and Icy Hot mixed up. Needless to say, it was an exciting night.
Our agencies are combined, just so you know.
There's shit goes on the
So my ears are hot. Like, there are some times when I'm doing the open mic portion of Imagine Listening, and there are stories that come out that I'm just like, hell no, really? Like, I can't believe this. Okay, hold on. Before I comment on this, I want to read over here. Tiffany says, had a child call and tell me his house is haunted, asked to speak to an adult, and he said they can't see the ghosts and hung up. Oh, what? See, that would be freaky, man. That no way. So this call that I just played. Wait, what? Oh, hold on, Casey. I am okay. Hold on a minute. Hold on. So this one that I just played. Oh wait, Carrie over here. What's going on? Carrie says, "Are you coming back to APCO in Arkansas this year?" I would love to. I haven't heard anything yet, but I would love to. Arkansas was so much fun as well. I had a blast over there with all of you. Oh, Casey says I should not have commented. Oh wait, Carrie says I absolutely loved listening to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. That I appreciate that. I always have so much fun when I'm with my peeps, and every place I've been to, man, it always feels like family. Like people are like, "Yeah, it's so much fun." And yeah, that conference I had so much fun at it, and also with Dawn and stuff. It was cool. It was the first time that I ever did axe throwing there, and I thought I was gonna suck, and I actually did really well. I think I might have won a little bit of money too on some video poker, but it was a good time. I enjoyed it. So this call that I just played, if you didn't hear it, the couple called in because and they were in pain because they reached into the nightstand during spicy time. And instead of reaching for the KY, they ended up getting the icy hot. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. Like, like all I can hear are all the songs that have to do with whether it's getting hot in her or we didn't start the fire. Oh man. I can't stop laughing, man. This is so. And Casey says that's a spicy night. Hell yes, it is. And Tiffany says the beauty of calling it spicy time. I can't. Oh, yep. uh, Casey says don't burn the jewels. Oh man. Or goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's so bad. Now, I have to say, while we're chuckling about this, it's not about the people, okay? We're not making fun of callers here. I want to make sure everyone knows that. It is simply the situation, because it's calls like this that you end up asking yourself, like, is this real life? And it is. This stuff happens. It is just the situation that we are talking about. Because sometimes you can't even imagine it, and this is something that happened. We didn't start the fire. I tried to reach for the KY, but instead it was icy hot. Oh, Wing Mom over here on TikTok says ouchie, but also says, oh my God, I'm dying laughing right now. Yes, we're laughing with them. Of course, yes. Wow. You know, I always say during the open mic session or the open mic portion of Imagine Listening that it takes one call for all of them to go downhill. And this one that you just heard, that was the one that made them all go downhill. Casey, I didn't see your other message up there. Casey says the Devil's Butt Crack reimagined, because I had shared a story of when we were in Baltimore and how hot it was. I said it was like the devil put his bare ass over the city and said, "Feel my heat." Oh man. Tiffany says sent us right off the cliff. There was no hill. Yeah, you are correct. There was none. There was no hill. We just excuse me. We just went over and that was it. Because the rest of the calls, holy moly. I have to listen to those other ones. These were just the two that I picked to play for tonight, because there were a couple others that I thought, I don't know. I have to re-listen to them, but they were hilarious. They were hilarious. Oh, man. My Lord. This has been a good-ass time with all of you. And I just want to mention, as we're going into the wrap, that again, if you have not joined the Trenches community, please do so, because tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time, I go live within the community to just do like a 30-minute coffee chat. Sometimes it's a little more because we get on a roll and stuff. But I also do a Wednesday check-in, and then of course I do open mic all over social media. But also the reason I bring this up too is because the Public Safety Showcase is coming up, and that is going to be on the 27th starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And I have Samantha Hawkins, who's going to be doing an excellent session to open it up. And then Carla from the Chagrin Valley Dispatch, she's going to be doing a session on relationships in 911. Really good one that's coming up as well. And then Marissa Walters, she is out of North Carolina, and she's going to be doing a session about being square peg, trying to fit in and stuff in public safety, or 911, that is, in the profession. So that is going to be great. And then I'm going to finish it off. I'm going to close it out with my my hour version of excuse me, recruitment through the power of storytelling. So 4 awesome sessions that you do not want to miss, and it is also free. All of it is free. So make sure to join, make sure to check that out, all of that goodness coming up. And then just the last thing I want to mention here, again, as we go into the wrap up of this, is that, you know, sometimes in life, things happen where there are some folks who are no longer in your life, and some of those can just simply kick rocks. But there are other folks that end up out of your life for a little while and then end up back in. And sometimes when that happens, people just have to reflect and look back, apologize, and move forward, because reflection heals. Time heals. And above all else, communication heals as well. Just a little something to take with you. Nothing specific. Just something to think about. Because you know what, man? Life is too fucking short to have grudges. It's too short. Again, just something to take with you, something to think about. There's a lot more coming up that I cannot wait to share with all of you. And I'm so excited, and I have had so much fun with all of you tonight. Julie says, Ricardo, you're a rock star. Thanks for making my night so much better while working. Needed those laughs. I'm glad I was able to help out. And to everyone, this was so much fun. Tiffany says, thank you for making this shift a little lighter. Yes. And Casey says, gotta have fun in 911. Yes, exactly. Wingman saying thank you, or Wingmom rather saying thank you. Carrie saying amen. John saying have a good evening. You as well, my friend. This was so much fun. Damn it, I have so much fun with all of you. I love you guys. This has been a good time, a good night. And my stomach hurts from laughing this hard. My stomach hurts. Golden Line 09 over here on TikTok says, thank you for coming out to the Mississippi Conference. Thank you for all having me and welcoming me in. It was such a good time, and I cannot wait to go back, because I had a couple people tell me, I had someone say to me, you said this was your first time in Mississippi? And I said, yeah. And the person goes, well, it's not going to be the last time, because we have a lot more stories to share. And I was like, dude, I'm all about it. I am all about it. And another person said to me, the person goes, I have ADHD and you held my attention for those 2 hours completely. And I was like, yes, I'll take it. That's a compliment, man. Like, I'm all about it. And thank you, all of you, for just being there, for saying it. And it's just, I love what I do. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I will continue to say it. All of you are my why. And I hope that wherever your numbers were before, that your numbers either went up or stayed the same. Because I'm like way over a 10 now. So whatever your numbers are, I hope, again, that they went up or at least simply stayed the same. Because open mic live, we just take some time, an hour. It's going to be an hour and a half for this one, but about an hour to just forget about the bullshit that's going on in the world and just be here together to just talk, whether it's to share 911 calls, share funny stories, personal stories, topics, whatever it may be. And just be here in support of each other, because whether you think it or not, I mean, we're healing and finding some form of closure through the power of storytelling and laughter. So I hope you all have an excellent night. Again, I had so much fun with all of you. Thank you for all the support and for everything that you do in this profession. Thank you. This live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services. Shout out to subscribers and all of you watching, supporting, listening, all of it. If you have any questions or you want to get a hold of me, you want to be on a guest on the flagship show, anything like that, you can simply go to links, and that's links with 2 eyes.co/IAM911. You'll find everything there. Email, social media. We are to hear the latest episode of the OG podcast, Within the Trenches, as well as the Imagine Listening podcast, where you can also join the free community, The Trenches, that has over 200 hours of free continuing education. And also 44 rounds worth of the Dispatchers Roundtable. All kinds of topics on all things 911 profession to learn from. And there's so much more coming, as well as the Public Safety Showcase. So make sure to go there. Once again, it is links with 2 eyes.co/IAM911. You'll find everything there. The store, the Imagine Listening books, all of it is there. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as Instagram, and also on TikTok. There are clips from the show and also personal stories, other stories, Imagine Listening, and I Am 911 stories that are on Instagram Reels, TikTok, and Facebook Reels. And also I've got stuff on X and LinkedIn. And then you can listen to the OG podcast, Within the Trenches podcast, 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good night, everyone. Again, I have had so much fun with you, and we will see you all in the next one.